Hi, my name is Dennis Siri. I am Executive Director and founder of the New York City Independent Film Festival, Independent in Spirit, International at Heart, and this is the New York City Independent Film Festival Meet the Filmmakers podcast. Join us while we meet this year's filmmakers. Thank you. Bye bye. Hi, today we're here with Ethan and Victor. So please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Ethan McKellar. I am the writer, director, and producer of the Ensemble.
Hi everyone, I'm Victor Colasurdo. I'm the lead actor playing the acting teacher in the ensemble.
Great. All right. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. So I guess Ethan, I'll start with you. What made you decide to make this movie? Was there some inspiration, something that happened? Or
Oh, yeah, great question. Well, I'm finishing up my time at Pace University at school, and I'm kind of, I made a lot of films about, kind of, the good stuff of college and all this stuff in the world today, and after kind of experiencing what could also be a really negative side of social media and the world and college and our little like micro environment and community. I wanted to kind of showcase that in a way that was easily digestible. And I thought that me coming from an acting background, or I should say theater background, I remember being in acting classes and doing these like, these world building things. We walk around and I realized I was like, wait a minute, that's kind of like a mini society. And I thought that would be a great juxtaposition with kind of what's going on in the real world.
okay, great. And how about you, young man? What did you think about the whole thing? How did you get involved, Victor?
I got involved in it uh, in kind of a funny way. So I also graduated from Pace University. So I went there. I graduated in 2022. And at this time, I was looking for, just some like student films, short films to collaborate with in order to, just meet people, get footage for like a reel for a website, whatnot. And at the performing arts school at Pace, they had this call board type thing where they'll send it out to all the students. And I was still receiving the emails, even though I graduated. So I guess Ethan had put it out there to PPA, Pace Performing Arts, that he was looking for actors. So I saw it and it looked really interesting. And then we reached out and then we just went from there essentially. Yeah.
Yep, great. Cool. All right. So I guess to both of you, I guess Ethan, we'll start with you first. How long have you been doing this? So is this something you started as a little kid, or is this something you started in college? How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, great question. I've always been interested in film forever, since I was a kid. I remember getting my first movie camera and always wanted to do that stuff. And obviously, they weren't, at the level they are now, but it was definitely something that I was always interested in. And then I initially actually went to school for theater because it was more, to me, I thought it was more accessible. And then when I realized, the ability to make films here, I kind of reignited that love of making movies. Yeah.
I started acting my junior year of high school. I always describe it as like it found me because I was always interested, but I never actually did it. Some minor performances here and there and whatnot, but I really started acting my junior year of high school, and then professionally, luckily, I guess that was the December 2021. I did my first professional job, so that was really exciting. So it's almost like going into the next like level of the industry.
During COVID. Very good. All right.
I
So,
lied. It was December 2022. That's what it was. Now I'm like, wait, no, it wasn't during COVID.
okay, that's good. All right. So I guess we'll start with Ethan. So when you told your parents, I'm going to go to college and take a degree in filmmaking, were they supportive? Your friends and family, were they all supportive? Or they sit there and go get a real job, get a degree in law or get a degree in economics or something?
Yeah, no, I have been very supported the entire time. I think I was very fortunate that I had a lot of opportunities to present my work and show kind of what I was interested to family and friends and my community. That by the time I went to school for film in college, like, everyone kind of just like knew that was what I was going for. So I was really supported. I was saying, no, that's not the experience of everyone, but like for me, it was kind of a given, for me to go to school for that.
I'd say it's a pretty similar thing. I think at first, like I said, I did it my junior year high school, and at that time I was thinking about what I wanted to do next, go to college for and all that. And it's funny because I was like on the varsity soccer team and everything. And I remember my buddies there they all thought it was a joke at first, and then they saw it and they're like, "Oh, hey, he's actually really good. What's going on here?" So once I discovered that love of it, in my mind, it was made up. Like, yeah, this is it. And I think maybe my parents had like one time they were like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, here we go." So essentially, I would say like if I wasn't good at acting, then they probably would have put that. But I think they saw it in me and they saw the talent I had. So I've been supported ever since.
That's great. I'm happy for both of you. All right. And so what was the hardest part of making this movie, Ethan?
Oh, well, the hardest part I think for me was the turnaround time. We wrote it, and then I think it was like within 3 weeks that we were making it, and the actual initial classroom scene or where they're doing the acting class was only a couple hours of filming, and so we had a time crunch, and that was kind of the hardest thing. Um, for me was can we do this in the amount of time that we have? And also the other thing was that the script is really wide open. So there is Victor's dialogue, but it doesn't really, there's not a lot of plot in his dialogue. The plot is the montage stuff that we cut to in the film. And so we were kind of driving blind because we had Victor stuff. And so it was, kind of me as a director having to combine a bunch of stuff and make it work based on just his dialogue.
Me and Ethan have like talked about and looked back on filming this. And while there is that time crunch and everything, I look back on it so fondly because it was just a lot of fun and we had that tight, like it was almost a thing of there was no downtime. So we were just like so in it the whole time and just like kind of running and gunning with the filming of it. So to me, I feel like as I interact with more and more sets and whatnot, I think Ethan had it so great. And that's what any actor really wants is that not that like they want issues, but when there is something, you have a director that can handle it so that it doesn't trickle into the actor. So that, you know, I'm always on standby, ready to do whatever Ethan needs me to do in order to help out. So for me, like I don't want to say it was like it was easy. I came in and just did that. Oh, it's so easy, it's whatever. But it was a really great experience that I wouldn't say I had great difficulty with because of the filming process being so fluid and we're gonna do this now, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that. And it was like, all right, good, good, I'm game. That's what I would say, yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So you also included what was fun part, although Ethan, you didn't bring in what was the fun part.
Yeah, for me, I think it was kind of what also was challenging about it was what was fun. So was that we had this kind of like open playing field of the script and these like dialogue and it was so much fun to just kind of work with an actor like Victor who can kind of just adapt on the spot and like kind of build this world and lead these actors. None of the actors met before. So this was the first time they're all in the room together, and he has to act like he's been teaching them for months, and that he's their leader in a way, and he does it in a way that's like super, just like addicting to watch. And so I think that was kind of for me the most fun part was building it with him and it not being originally what it was planned to be, but being better than it ever could have been because of working with collaborations with people like Victor.
Great. That's cool. That's really cool. All right. How would you define success in the indie film world? Like, is it both you are sitting here, Victor, are you sitting here anticipating being, I don't know, who's, Robert Downey Jr. or somebody, and you're working on, Ethan, you want to be, what's his name? Pick one,
Yeah.
anyone,
Anyone. Yeah.
anyone. Or are you figuring on doing the indie world is really where you're going to do small art house movies and that type of thing. What's your goals?
Yeah. I mean, for me, my goal is just to make stuff, right? So, I mean, the scale of it doesn't truly matter to me as long as I'm making the work. And in some ways, the scale of people like Martin Scorsese or people like, Steven Spielberg, doesn't really matter as long as they're making the work they want to make. And in their way, they're just lucky that their work is blockbuster worthy. And if a script came along that I would love to do that one day, I would love to be on that level. But at the same time, I love where I'm at right now, just to be able to make Would I want crowdfunded in a way that's, in our community, in our world, there's not that many stakes. But yeah, I don't really think about it as much as, do I want to be big or do I want to stay in the indie world? I mean, I think there's a lot of success in the indie world, and as long as it pays and as long as I get to do this for a living, I don't care where it is.
Mhm. I'd say similarly, like, because I'm always looking at independent film versus like the big blockbusters at this point. I think I've come to that I guess palate and appetite throughout the years of watching more and more films and what really speaks to me and what interests me. So, I mean, I think it's always funny not to when you think about indie now. Independent film is kind of becoming huge in a way. So it seems like there's these different tiers now. There's like independent film on the budget of less than $10 million, and then you have independent films from when what's the director? Oh my god, when Aronofsky made like Psi, or
Right.
Damien Chazelle made Guy Madeline on a park bench for like $60,000. Now it's become this huge thing. But for me, in terms of success, I think of success for me more in terms of the art than the money, because I think that's what everyone gets wrapped up in. So for me, what I'm more interested in with my career is I want to follow in the steps of someone like Paul Mescal. He's my favorite actor at the moment because he seemingly to me, I mean, maybe he just finds good material and whatnot, but seems to be enjoying staying within that independent film space and working with directors that interest him. Like for me, like I can't wait to work with Robert Eggers or the Safdie brothers or Damien Chazelle, even though he's kind of growing out of it a bit, but now I think he's going to come back down to the indie level. Those I want to be more collaboration driven with who I want to work with, as opposed to I want to be this actor, I want to be that, I want to work in Marvel or whatnot. That's what I would say.
Okay, great, great. I guess the last question so somebody is 12 years old and they come along and go, "Hey, Uncle Ethan, what do you think? I want to be a filmmaker. Is that a good idea or am I crazy?"
Well, that's really what they want to do. I think it's a great idea. I think,
Say to them, what would you?
what would I say to them? I think I would say, that you really, you have to really want to do this, and you have to want to do it without, or with tackling every challenge and roadblock. I've seen so many people who want to be actors or, directors or other people, and they have not, they've given up when one thing got hard. And it's like, that's my biggest thing I would say is like, everything is going to be hard, especially if we're talking about indie films, right? Everything is going to be hard. Nothing is going to be given to you. I mean, with this film, we're lucky if, I have the money to pay for a camera card. You know what I mean? Like everything is going to be a challenge. And so I've always been saying, okay, and I would say to this kid, don't think about how hard things are. Think about how good it can be if you accomplish that hard thing. So that's what I would say. Keep doing it and be willing to do it, even if it's extremely hard.
So I think you phrased the question like, is that the right thing or are they crazy? And I would say it's both, because you have to be a little crazy. Because I have a great acting teacher that I found after my time at Pace, and she's always describing like, as an acting teacher, no one understands people don't really understand how acting works, or filmmaking for that matter. They don't get it because there's a level of chaos within it. Like, and I would say good chaos. There's no stability. You're kind of going from project to project. I don't know what I'm gonna do in a month. Something can pop up and I'm just gonna go do that.
He's doing my
So
film
I would,
actually in a month.
yep, I am. And I just finished one and I'm doing one before yours. And yeah, so it's staying busy. But with that, it's like you have to put in the work no matter what. I would tell my niece or nephew who's 12 years old, it's like, if you really want to do this, you have to put in the work and you have to just believe in yourself, because everyone's going to question why you're doing this. Or how does this work? Or I don't get, why would you do that? And at the end of the day, it has to come down to a love for it, for the work. And because I think a lot of people, especially in my age bracket, are just, they don't understand that there's a struggle that is just laden in this path, and there's hardship, and that is a part of the process of getting to it. And you have to put in the work. You can't just, oh, I want to be famous and I just want to be in everything. So I think that's the thing. So yes, be crazy and go forth, do it with all your love in your heart.
Okay. I basically have asked all my questions. Is there anything either one of you want to say, ask, or discuss, or?
Um, no, I think what just a kind of little like fun fact, Victor is going to be in my next film that we film next week, but also he was already in a whole nother one that I filmed that's coming out in the fall. So Victor is a really great collaborator because he does kind of build with a director. And so yeah, look out for those, I guess, you know.
Mm.
And your film is going to be this June at the New York City Independent Film Festival and the Producers Club. I'm going to see you both in June, right? You're going to be here?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, thank you guys.